Today we are back with another community member gameplay review. Now, first things first, as always, if you want to have your gameplay reviewed, make sure you check the pinned comment down below. I put a link to join my Discord, as well as instructions on how to submit your gameplay. Now, today we've got some gameplay here from QuackTalk, who is a 1.5 KD console player, and he is struggling with something that 90+% of you are struggling with, which is you just can't drop enough kills. You can't find enough people to drop that 20 kill game, and he's a good player, 1.5 KD, but he has not dropped a 20 kill game yet. And right off, we're gonna start right here. You know, when he breaks this guy, especially in solos, we want to immediately put this pressure on, especially in solos. You know, in duos, trios, and quads, we of course have to be aware of what's going on around us in terms of other people, but in solos, keep that pressure on, get that down, get that thirst, and instead, because he waits a little bit, he's not able to get that kill. Now, one of the things we're going to be reviewing today is going to be the 6 ways to go about finding people, and you kind of have to use this as a checklist. But right here, we don't have minimap pings just yet because of the radar jammer, so we can't see, but we do have audio cues. We hear that people are below us. So as I'm looting up for probably in this case, I've got the MP7, so I'm feeling pretty confident in that with the hip fire, but I'm just going to start clearing. I'm going to basically slide cancel around the corner. I'm going to expect somebody to be there, and I'm just going to be challenging people and pushing through and clearing one little room at a time, one little corner at a time, and making sure that if there is somebody there, that I'm anticipating them and I'm executing. And then once we go to that point, we just keep listening for other people. Early game is all about audio cues and minimap pings. 2 ways to find people that I want to talk about. The first is going to be right here. Notice that these guys are shooting down below. A lot of you, this is the biggest area that you struggle with. When you hear shots being fired, check that minimap. I want you to specifically work on this because this is the biggest thing that I see you struggle with. Right here, you know these people are down below, so you can go push in here and third party this. Now, the other one that we're talking about here is going to be audio cues, which is people shooting silenced weapons, which we do get early game, and we also get footsteps early game. Don't trust directional audio with footsteps, as I always say, but you can use it to understand that people are around you. So those are the first 2 ways that we go about finding people: audio cues and minimap pings of people shooting unsilenced weapons. So notice how long he takes to engage, right? The longer that you wait to act on information, the more it's going to change. So as soon as I turn this corner right here and I see these people shooting down below, I'm going to push that. I'm going to get in, and you can play. Let me pull this back. I want to pause this right about here. You can play this little ledge. You know, especially on console, I always say keep your distance, stay outside of that 5 to 7 meter range. This ledge right here, you know, you can try to play this and see if you can see over the top and get a nice little pick right there. But if not, then you can go ahead and push in, and he's going to end up pushing in. It's just a little too late. Notice how long he takes to actually, he's waiting. And what he's doing right here, he's hesitating. Right? He's just hesitating. He knows the information's there. He's just hesitating a little bit. You can hesitate in trios and quads when you don't know how many people there are, but in solos, play more aggressive. Now he goes. Now he's able to get it, and he could have potentially, keep in mind, he could have potentially lost out on a kill right there. Maybe he gets 2 kills if he pushes a little bit earlier, but also what ends up happening is he's going to go ahead and challenge this guy. I would have re-challenged this. He's going to end up going down just because he loses that first shot. What I would have done is the moment you get shot, slide through here, break this line of sight, and then you can immediately slide back as long as you anticipate and you execute. So now let's go ahead. He's gonna respawn back in here. By the way, this is a pretty good. I believe he wins this game with 11 kills. So he's not too far off from a 20 bomb, but he still needs to figure out how to get there. By the way, real quick, I don't know if I mentioned this already. I forgot if I did or not, but take a second if you haven't already. Make sure you are subscribed down below. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for all things Rebirth, Fortune's Keep, Modern Warfare 2, and Warzone 2. I'm gonna continue doing videos every single day, just trying to help you become a better player. Now, right here, once again, we see that same situation before. So what do I do in this scenario? Okay, he challenges with the pistol, but as soon as he gets that break, look at all of this stuff right here. So you've got a Craig 6 probably right there. You've got an armor satchel, so he can go push this and once again keep this pressure on. Now, when you break this guy right here and you're keeping that pressure on, just make sure you anticipate. Do not get caught in a spot where you're not anticipating and you end up getting your camera broken by a good player who knows how to re-challenge. You know, that's what I'm always looking for. I break the line of sight when I re-challenge. I'm listening for you to push. If you don't anticipate, that's when you get caught in attack sprint and I break that camera. Now, he's got the sten. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Much better job right there of keeping the pressure on. And what happens? He's able to get that kill. Now he grabs the Armaguerra, and we're going to continue using information around us. Now, let's get another obvious one out of the way right here real quick. UAVs. UAVs, one of the biggest things that you can do. You really need to work on your cash flow, work on getting it by grabbing contracts, work on spending it, recognizing when you do have enough money to buy a UAV. Go ahead and challenge right here. Good job hip firing right there. Notice on console, he gets caught a little bit close within that 5 to 7 meter range. And this is something for PC players as well. Just make sure you're always hip firing in those close quarters, especially if you need to track somebody. Yep, go ahead and push right back in. That guy hit the 3rd floor. Good for that guy. I mean, that guy just executed well hitting that 3rd floor. So, you know, hip fire in those close quarters. Now, back to what I was saying. Cash flow, getting it and spending it. Really, really work on those. Quick note, by the way, in control. Why is his aim so bad here? You do not get aim assist through this window. So this is a tough window to fight through. Just keep that in mind. You don't get aim assist, which is why it's so tough to fight right there. Yep, now push away. Go ahead and keep pushing. Yeah, don't switch guns. That's a tough spot to be in. I probably wouldn't have switched guns. I probably would have just hugged that corner a little bit, tried to get away from there. So he's got loadout here, 3 kills. He's got 25. Notice the shooting right above with the pistol. So as soon as you get loadout here, you need to turn and see what's happening above you. And right now, let's look at this. You've got faint little red ping. We'll rewind. We'll pull it back. I want to grab Lodi right here. So you got right here. You've got faint little red ping right here. Got ping over here. You've got ping in tower. You got 1 right here. So when we talk about it, players making a mistake and not being able to drop 20 kills, a lot of it is also because you forget information. So go ahead and challenge this guy. Anticipate. Be ready for this enemy. Yep, you got him right behind you. So you can go ahead and act on that. I'm okay with how he's playing this. You got to remember that there's one over here, though. That's the biggest thing that you forget. And what ends up happening is as you go to challenge this guy, you get shot from the one behind you. So you got to keep that in mind. Yep, you got people over to your right, and you can hear people shooting silenced weapons. Good job challenging right here. Really good job of sliding around that corner. Just something when it comes to anticipation. Watch how he gets his crosshairs out, right? Crosshairs are out. He's centered perfectly right here. He's able to execute, get that down in thirst. He's got 4 kills, so he's just short of 20 pace here. 20 pace, as I always say. 6 kills in the first, 6 kills in the second, 4 kills in the third. Execute. Good shots right there. 4 kills in the third, 4 kills in end game, which is the rest of it. And there's your 20 bomb. Now, he doesn't have plates, so he's kind of in a tough spot. Got to loot up for a second. So, back to number 3, which is going to be UAVs. Work on getting UAVs up. I promise you, you start getting more UAVs up, this game will become a lot easier for you. Then it's just on you to execute and anticipate and really be smart about the decisions that you make. 1 to your left. You got audio. Now, go challenge. Don't let him push you. This is a tough one because he's down a plate and a half. This is a confidence thing right here. This is a confidence thing. I have confidence. I would immediately go push this guy. Good job. Good job anticipating right here. He knew he was somewhere in there, wasn't totally sure, but watch how he anticipates. He's ready. You can see that. Notice how he's not centered on this guy, but he is anticipating, which is why he's able to react and get that kill. Now he's got plates. He's got everything he needs. He's good. He's got loadout. He's got satchel right here. He's got basically everything that he needs to do to be competitive. So we go back to finding people. Now, I will say in this lobby, a little bit dead. One thing that we do want to talk about right here is this minimap ping. Of course, the resurgence dynamic or the rebirth dynamic, you know, of people flying back in, not as applicable in solos because you kind of just see where that guy's going, but in duos, trios, and quads, huge source of information. So the 4 that we talked about so far, minimap pings after a kill, minimap pings of people shooting, we've got UAVs, and we've got audio cues, meaning footsteps and silenced weapons being shot. Now, let's talk about the checklist. This is where I think a lot of you make a mistake. What do you do if you don't know where anybody is? You have absolutely no idea. Well, you have one of 2 options here, and we're going to use this moment because it's actually a good situation. The first is going to be bounty, big game bounty. I would encourage you for the cash flow purposes to then get UAVs to grab bounties and big game bounties throughout a game. But right here, when he doesn't know where anybody is, he can just start pushing over to this bounty area, and at that point, he's either going to run into another team based on some of the previous things that we talked about, or he's going to run into the bounty team, and he's going to be in a good spot. The last one is going to be hot areas of the map. Nova 6, control, living quarters, prison. Like right here, he doesn't know where anybody is, right? So he doesn't know what to do. I would push over towards bounty. And when we talk about the checklist, right? So as I'm pushing bounty or hot area, something's going to happen. So we don't have enough cash flow, so let's take UAV out of it. As I'm pushing over to those areas, I might hear people shooting silenced weapons, and I know, and then I can push them or continue on my way. I might see minimap pings of people fighting up at headquarters, right? You see people shooting over at prison right now. So as we are kind of going through the checklist, if we get all the way to the point at the bottom of not knowing where anybody is, good job right here acting on information. Hip fire, yep. Notice how, guys, really good job right here. This is something for everybody. I'm gonna slow this down. Now, he gets put in a tough spot right here, especially on console because of the distance, right? So he's not really pushing this guy. This guy's pushing him. Watch how he tracks. Watch the un-ADS to the re-ADS. That's something you should really learn how to do. It will help you become a much better player. Really help you to get kills against sweatier players who know how to use their movement. So he just about has enough for a UAV, but not quite. He can use the minimap ping. This guy's up down below. So go react. Go push down below now. He's going to push right up to you. Good job pushing, right? We want to push instead of being pushed. Yeah, he got gassed. Now he's stuck. So where a lot of you struggle is the bottom one, is when you don't know what else to do. Right here, he's in a good spot. He's just acting on information. He has information to actually act on. Good job right there. You know that there's still one more. Anytime that you hear people shooting, you of course know it's going to be multiple teams. Yep. You're good right here. He's up top. Anticipate. Oh, no. Keep moving. Down below. Yeah, so there's another guy here right down below him. So as soon as you're replated, go re-engage. And so far, he's doing a good job of acting on information. It's just those situations where he's not totally sure the information to act on. Ooh, this is a tough push. You got to be ready. You got to be ready to make a move. Yep, go push. Slide in. Oh, no. He's tough. He's in a tough spot right here. Okay, you can play patient here. You got to be a little bit strategic because you're on console. You know, that's a little bit of a tougher push. Stealthy Curry, thank you so much for that sub. I appreciate it, guys. Oh, out front. Oh my gosh, there's another guy. Get back inside. He just ran out of ammo. That's tough. That's a tough one right there. It's going to happen. Little mistakes like that, or it is what it is. You know, of course, we can always nitpick at that and say, hey, you should have reloaded. But look, I don't reload as well. You know, it happens in the heat of the moment. You may not always be thinking about it. So when you don't know what else to do, push a hot area or grab a bounty contract. As you are pushing over towards those, something is going to give away another piece of information, at which point you can figure out who you want to push. A lot of you get caught in situations where you're not pushing enemies and you're getting pushed. You're pushing into 4 stacks because you don't know there's 4 people there. You're not, and look, that's another thing that we need to talk about, is when you are pushing those enemies, when you're pushing based on that information, you need to be a little bit strategic about your approach. You don't just want to full send. You know, if you see 2 teams fighting over here, right? Let's take a quad situation. Let's put him in quads right now. And you see 2 pings over here of people fighting. You don't know if that is 2 people or 8 people. So as you push up this way, you know, you need to be careful about what you're pushing into. In solos, yeah, you can kind of play a little bit more aggressive and get away with it. And, you know, trios is where I kind of draw that line. Duos, you got to be a little bit more aware, but you can get out of that. Trios is where it gets really tough. 6 other people still alive. He's got 9 kills so far. And he's getting, notice he has not had one UAV up this entire game, which he can buy UAV. I mean, UAV's end game are clutch, because it tells you where everybody is. Biggest tip I can give you for end game, besides power position and cover, which we always talk about, right? You need to be in circle with cover and then focus on your power position, is to remember where every single person is or every single team is, because that's going to allow you to decide how to rotate. It's going to allow you to decide whether I need to rotate early or rotate late. The more information you can take in, the better off you are going to be. And that helps as well just in general. You know, when you forget information, it forces you to slow down. Yeah, right up top there. Good. This is a tough slow peek. Wow, good shots right there with the Cooper. That was a good heading by that guy until he absolutely destroyed him with the Cooper. So, yeah, look at him taking all that information. So he knows there's one at the buy. He knows there's 2 across. He knows where everybody is. And that's something that a lot of you need to work on. And that's the last tip that I'll give you as we're wrapping up this game right here and paying attention to endgame is, you know, the more information that you remember, the quicker you can make a decision about where to go next, at which point you can keep your pace of play. I guess that's kind of the 7th thing, is like, once you get that information, whether it's minimap pings of people shooting, say you have a UAV up, right, and you go push somebody. Let's take the minimap right here. You know, say you have 2 people fighting over here, and you go and you challenge this enemy in living quarters because of, you know, It's the easier kill at the moment. Don't forget that there's still people to your left, because that will allow you to make the next decision of where to push. So he knows there's one right there, he knows there's one right there, and he knows there's one to his left in Nova. Now, he does have to rotate. I don't like the late rotation here. I think you have to rotate early here. I think you need to rotate right, and you need to rotate low, and ultimately push all the way around, pushing to here, then pushing over to 4 square over here, and then trying to get into big living quarters building. Yep, quick plate, but notice he's in a really tough spot here, right? Because now that guy knows exactly where he is, and his gas mask is going to run out. I haven't seen this, by the way. I haven't seen this end game, so I don't know how he clutches this. I don't know if he does win. I'm pretty sure it's 11 kills. He's going to stim. So he's going to stim right here, but no, there was no need for him to stim, right? He could have rotated. The only reason he has to stim right now is because he put himself in that situation, right? Because he didn't rotate early and get into zone. All he had to do was rotate all the way right. He would have been perfectly fine. So now he's going to have to use another stim. Now you got to go. You got to go early here. You got to rotate early. Push in. Yep, this is tough. I mean, he's gonna be very close to circle right here. Look, if he had done this like 30 seconds ago, he would have been in a great position, right? If he had just rotated this way. Now, even as you're rotating, look at this. Catch this right here. I heard shooting, so I looked at the minimap, which is why I paused it, because I caught it. Look over here. So you know they're shooting over this way. Somebody just died, so you got one person here. You know there's somebody still around here rotating from big living, so you know exactly where everybody is. Everybody has to rotate to you, but you got to get in zone. You've got to get plated. Shooting over to the left, by the way. Listen. You hear that shooting right there, but no minimap pings. So that's a great example of you hear the shooting, but even though you don't get the minimap pings, you still know exactly where he is. People shooting silenced weapons, directional audio, in my opinion, is very, very, very clear. It's very clear where that person is shooting from, and we can use that. 1v1 right here. Now, you know he's to your right somewhere. There he is. Oh, and he hits it. And he hits it. He hits it. That's a good way to finish right there. So I hope you found today's video helpful. Work on those 7 things. UAVs, minimap pings after a kill, minimap pings of people shooting, audio cues, meaning minimap ping, or people shooting silenced weapons, as well as footsteps. Work on pushing hot areas of the map, bounties and big game bounties, and don't forget information. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.